True life is lived when tiny changes occur. Have a goal in life. A goal for a certain time, for a year, for a month, for a week, for a day or for an hour, and for a minute, sacrificing lower goals to highest. To love life is to love God. Harder and more blessed than all else is to love this life in one's sufferings, in undeserved sufferings. There is only one enduring happiness in life, to live for others. The chief difference between words and deeds is that, words are always intended for men for their approbation, but deeds can be done only for God. If you make it a habit not to blame others, you will feel the growth of the ability to love in your soul, and you will see the growth of goodness in your life. Seize the moments of happiness, love and be loved. That is the only reality in the world, all else is folly. People try to do all sorts of clever and difficult things to improve life instead of doing the simplest, easiest thing, refusing to participate in activities that make life bad. One of the first conditions of happiness is that the link between man and nature shall not be broken. Faith is the sense of life, that sense by virtue of which man does not destroy himself, but continues to live on. It is the force whereby we live. I think, if it is true, that there are as many minds as there are heads, then there are as many kinds of love, as there are hearts. Only people who are capable of loving strongly can also suffer great sorrow, but this same necessity of loving serves to counteract their grief, and heals them. There is one evident, indubitable manifestation of the divinity, and that is the laws of right, which are made known to the world, through revelation. Everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing himself. Everything comes in time to him who knows how to wait. Wrong does not cease to be wrong, because the majority share in it. If everyone fought for their own convictions, there would be no war. In the name of God, stop a moment, cease your work, look around you. I often think that men don't understand what is noble and what is ignorant, though they always talk about it. The two most powerful warriors are patience and time. Boredom, the desire for desires. If you look for perfection, you'll never be content. If you're not enjoying your work, you should either change your attitude or change your job. Anything is better than lies and deceit. A truly wise man is always joyful. The only thing that we know is that we know nothing, and that is the highest flight of human wisdom. It's much better to do good, in a way that no one knows anything about it. Even in the valley of the shadow of death, 2 and 2 do not make 6. It is amazing how complete is the delusion that beauty is goodness. Rummaging in our souls, we often dig up something that ought to have lain there unnoticed. Spring is the time of plans and projects. If you want to be happy, be. We lost because we told ourselves we lost. There is no greatness where there is not simplicity, goodness, and truth. There are no conditions to which a person cannot grow accustomed, especially if he sees that everyone around him lives in the same way. Man cannot possess anything, as long as he fears death. If we admit that human life can be ruled by reason, then all possibility of life is destroyed. Because of the self-confidence with which he had spoken, no one could tell whether what he said was very clever or very stupid. If there was no suffering, man would not know his limits, would not know himself. Love. The reason I dislike that word is that it means too much for me, far more than you can understand. When you love someone, you love the person as they are, and not as you'd like them to be. But the law of loving others could not be discovered by reason, because it is unreasonable. It's hard to love a woman and do anything. Respect was invented to cover the empty place where love should be. Is it really possible to tell someone else what one feels? If you love me as you say you do, make it so that I am at peace. I have learnt that all men live not by care for themselves, but by love. Happiness does not depend on outward things, but on the way we see them. I wanted feeling to guide us in life, and not life to be the guide to feeling.